When a man saw his wife pet the neighbor's dog, he methodically inserted steel needles into his steak one by one. Then, when the neighbor wasn't looking, he secretly fed the poisoned meat to the dog. Clearly, he was jealous of this animal. Ever since John's legs became paralyzed, he had started suspecting that his wife was having an affair. So John secretly installed tracking software on his wife's phone, monitoring her every move around the clock. That evening, John eavesdropped on a phone conversation between Mary and her best friend. The two women discussed painkillers, and the friend advised Mary to leave John sooner rather than later. This made the already insecure John realize the crisis he was facing. So when Mary came home from work that night, John had specially prepared a candlelit dinner. He reflected on his recent behavior and expressed gratitude for everything his wife had done for him. Seeing John's change, Mary felt genuinely happy. But just as John went to take a shower, Mary's phone suddenly received a text message, and the same notification sound came from a nearby room. When Mary followed the sound to the room, she discovered that her husband had been spying on her all along. Mary felt both terrified and furious. She decisively packed her bags and quickly left the house. When John emerged from the bathroom and saw the open computer, he instantly understood everything. He knew that his wife's departure was entirely his own doing, so he never tried to find Mary. 6 months later, unable to contain his longing, John tracked down his wife's workplace. To his shock, he discovered that she was now with another man. What made him even more enraged was that this man was actually the ambulance driver who had caused his paralysis. John followed them to a maternity store, where he learned that Mary was now pregnant. Watching the couple's loving interaction, John became completely consumed with rage, and a terrible plot began forming in his mind. The next day, John went to the hospital and used his connections to obtain a large amount of anesthetic. Then he staked out Mary's workplace, waiting for his ex-wife to appear. At this time, Mary was living a happy and fulfilling life. She had no desire to have any involvement with this despicable man ever again. John immediately began playing the victim, gaining her sympathy. Plus, Mary still needed to retrieve her passport, so she was lured into John's home. John claimed the passport was in another room. When Mary bent down to search through a drawer, John jabbed the needle into her buttocks. When Mary regained consciousness, she found herself tied to the bed. Terrified, Mary immediately began struggling desperately. To avoid alerting the neighbors, John cranked the music up to maximum volume, then pulled out a small syringe and injected some unknown substance into her body. When she woke up next, she found herself untied, but when she tried to get out of bed, she discovered that her legs had lost all feeling. John had injected her with an epidural anesthetic. Watching his ex-wife crawling on the floor in agony, John felt immense satisfaction. To celebrate Mary's return to his side, John once again prepared a candlelit dinner.